I'm Max Berger and I'm here to walk you through my Padawan Expert app. So, a bit of context behind the app. I did a 10-month course with Career Foundry and chose the Expert app hands-on project to undertake. The brief was very simple, to simply create an app where you can connect with an expert via video call. So I used an iterative process divided into 5 different sections, beginning with research. So let's get to it. So a competitive analysis, who is in this market, who are the direct competitors, who are the indirect competitors, and what is the scope, how much market share do they have, what are their revenues, a SWOT analyses as well for both companies. And it turns out that actually no one's doing terribly well because no one is really willing to pay for expert opinion, especially over simply a video call. Google also had a platform which they discontinued after only 1 year, proving just how little demand there is for this kind of service. So I went ahead with some user surveys. Here are just a few of the questions and script. And as you can see, the expert field is redundant. No one had ever heard of it before. And I found some pretty interesting things, um, such as people really did want to start new hobbies, new skills. And so there was some form of demand for it, but not through video calls or answering people's questions, because Google and YouTube are there and they're free. And also, obviously, their family members and friends. So I went ahead with some interviews. I interviewed a couple of my friends and my sister, and with some interview research goals, those being how much they would be willing to pay, understand what method, how, the ideal place, and what an app really must have for it to be successful. So what I found was very interesting, because my sister made a very interesting point of how she went to a cocktail class with her ex-boyfriend. My dad has been on numerous cooking classes with his brother, one to learn how to make curries. With a chef, she has a cookbook. There is a demand for this kind of sharing of expertise in person. So that really got me thinking how it would be fantastic if an app could do that, and you would have a selection. All the possible search results would be there. You could coordinate with a messaging platform with the teachers, with your fellow peers, rate them, and yeah, have a social media element as well. So I undertook some analysis, as you can see, and the personal takeaways is that it's redundant having the expert advice element, because people like free stuff essentially, and what's more, people our age do not have that kind of money to spend on piano lessons and what have you. So I came up with a hypothesis. So I believe that by launching this app, it will definitely make people rethink how they spend their free time in terms of pleasure, so spending it with loved ones and friends, curiosity, therefore upskilling, for instance, and thirdly, meeting new people, singles and what have you. So I came up with some user personas who are slightly older than the people I interviewed. And Dana, for instance, wants to learn how to do a pottery course, and also get her husband to learn how to cook, something fun that they could do together, and for him to learn some very crucial skills. Josh Boom loves Japanese cooking and wants to date someone, and isn't willing to download Tinder or anything like that. And also is thinking of a birthday present for his son. He's thinking, booking a pizza making class would be really fun, seeing as his son loves Italian food. Now, moving on to the third stage, ideate. Here are some user journeys that I made. Then do some user flows as well, 3 of those. So signing up, updating the payment method, and just simply exploring. So I then created a sitemap, which again then got changed because it's not loading, but it got changed because I changed the toolbar at the bottom. I went to do some card sorting as well of the cards, and the cards I chose were the some of the main sections of the app. Moving on to the building phase, so this is all about design. As you can see here, very early wireframes drawn by hand. You've got the balsamic ones here. Mid-fidelity, some rapid prototyping, so you can see very quickly from paper to balsamic. Mid-fidelity again, and which took me to Figma for my high fidelity, and these are actually the screens. Version 1, I have 6, but this is the first one on Figma that I used to do my usability testing. And the usability testing can all be found on my page, maxedberger.com/work. You can even complete some preference tests if you like and check that all out. Here's the plan as well. And it was very encouraging. Very few errors, one major error, and that was the absence of a booking confirmation. And I went right ahead and targeted that and took control and added one. And because it was a real concerning factor for most people, for everyone, especially one person who started thinking, wow, where's my money gone? I just use this app. I just heard of this app, in this hypothetical scenario, and I'm down 120 quid. I have no email confirmation. I have no notification, no text. How am I going to attend this course, including contacting, to rating. So here's another iteration phase. Preference tests, I love doing these. Very, very valuable. I did them multiple times. Some design documentation there, and this is interesting. The wireframes from start to finish, all the different iterations. Unfortunately, it's not loading, but you get the general idea. Finally, the final mock-ups. The interactive prototype, which you can view there on Figma, and my video presentation. Thank you very much.